everyone, AirVenture 2024 is just around the corner, and I thought it might be helpful to go over some changes you can expect this year at Oshkosh. And who better to tell you about those changes than EAA? So thank you so much for Dick Knapinski for joining me. He is the Director of Communications here at EAA. Dick, thanks again for taking the time to talk with me today.
Oh, this is great. Thanks so much. We can talk about AirVenture and Oshkosh for a long, long time. So, let's get into some of the things for 2024 that you may see are a little bit different on the grounds this year.
Great. So one that we talked about that I think would be really important, again, for anybody who's flying in, is you said that the emergency aircraft repair station has moved to a different location. Can you tell us where that is this year?
Yeah, it hasn't gone real far, but it's down there in the vintage parking area down by Hangar Cafe. It simply moved across the street. We have a new Aviators Club Pavilion that's down there. And so emergency aircraft repair, which has been a great service for more than a half century here at AirVenture, just moved across the street. You still have the tools if something happens with your airplane and you got to do something with it to get it back home safely. Those people have the tools, have the knowledge to help you out. They won't do the repairs, but they'll be right there to help you along, and you can get back home safely with a fixed airplane. Stuff always breaks at the worst possible time. So it's one of those things that they are there. We're happy to have this group started with Chapter 75, more than a half century, and they're still there, and they've got a great group of volunteers to help out.
Great. And for those of you who aren't familiar with them, I have a separate video going over emergency aircraft repair that I will link down below. Dick, what other changes can we look forward to at AirVenture this year?
Well, one of the fun parts is that every year we send out about 10,000 surveys after AirVenture to members, to people who fly in, to exhibitors, to campers, saying, okay, what worked? What didn't work? And our guests and EA members are always very generous with what they think might have worked and what might not have worked. And that's great. We take all that feedback. One thing that's coming in this year, we're putting in more water bottle filling stations, the little blue water bottle filling stations you see on the flight line. Yeah, some of them had fallen into disrepair through the years. We were told about those, going out, fixing those, adding more water bottle filling stations throughout the grounds. There are more than a dozen of them throughout the grounds. So bring that water bottle in, stay hydrated out there. A new one this year, and we had some suggestions on this, so we've incorporated it and found a sponsor to help us out with it. Misting stations or cooling stations. Hit the button, get about 10, 15 seconds of mist to cool off when you're on the flight line. Okay, people, it's not a shower.
Wow.
Okay, we're going to start here. It's not a shower. But it's one of those things that you can get that quick blast of cool mist and go about your way. And there are two of them right on the flight line and one over by the food court and the warehouse merchandise building. So those will be set up there. We think they're going to be very, very popular on those hot days. So look for those. They are also on the map. The fold-out map has the water fountains and the misting stations in little blue circles. So you can find them right on the map. Also, you can look on the app, on the fold-out map, or online with the map. So you've got those when you get to the grounds.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, the water bottle fillers are great just because when you have some of those hot days, it's nice to make sure you can stay hydrated. And I'm looking forward to the misting stations, but hopefully, like you said, I don't want to see any loofahs or shampoo over there.
Yeah, let's keep the shows in the air on the flight line instead of there in the misting station, okay?
I think that's a great idea. Well, so you were talking about with the flight line, we've got the different demo teams that are coming in, especially with the snowbirds. And tell us a little bit about what we might expect as some changes with the snowbirds doing their performance on the last weekend there of AirVenture.
Okay, great. You're right. We've got two military teams this year. The Italian military team is coming in on Tuesday, just a demonstration, not their full air show. They'll come in Tuesday morning, have a couple airplanes on Boeing Plaza, then they'll leave during the air show. It's not a full performance. It's just a demonstration with some flybys. But on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Canadian Forces Snowbirds will be joining us for the centennial of the Royal Canadian Air Force. So they'll be flying each of those days. And for the afternoon air shows on each of those days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 26th, 27th, and 28th, we're moving the flight line back a little bit. Expanded aerobatic boxes needed for the military jet teams. So as we did in 2016 and 2017 for the Blue Angels, that crowd line is moved back about to the speaker poles. If you've been at AirVenture before, you know about halfway back on the flight line there are the speaker poles. That will generally be the line for the afternoon air shows on those 3 days, the final 3 days of the week. Those will just be for the afternoon air show. The night air show on Saturday night will go back to the regular crowd line, and all the other air shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will have the regular crowd line. So just remember, final weekend afternoons, crowd line is set back beginning at about noon.
Okay, great. So don't expect to leave your chair there and come back and find it.
Yeah, your chair will be somewhere. We can guarantee that. It's just probably not right where you left it.
So talking about things moving, I think you mentioned there's a couple other things that have moved this year on the grounds that people won't find in the same places last year.
Yeah, one of them is the Women Venture Pavilion. That was over in Aviation Gateway Park the past few years. We've moved it because we know that's been expanding. We want to give it some room work and expand. You go north of the control tower, south of the forums area, you'll see the Women Venture tent. It's got a space of its own now, gives it for some future expansion, and have some great forums. It's just a superb place to celebrate women in aviation. Don't forget the big Women Venture festivities on July 24th. The big photo, once again, that will be taking place out in Boeing Plaza. And so it's going to be a fun day there. The other thing, if you go to find the Lost and Found building over by the Lifetime Member Pavilion and you suddenly discover it's lost, you'll have to look someplace else because you'll find it now near convention headquarters. And so the Lost and Found building, we literally picked up and moved about 500 yards off to the southwest. So it's next to Exhibit Hangar A now. One nice thing we have is we have a lot of buildings on skids, so we can pick them up, put them on a truck, take them someplace else, and put them down. So the Lost and Found building will be right along Knapp Street next to Exhibit Hangar A.
Oh, that's great. Well, the irony of losing the Lost and Found building if you're trying to look for it in the old spot. But I'm also really looking forward to seeing that new Women Venture tent because I'll actually be on one of the EAA panels on Saturday morning. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think you mentioned, too, that there's a couple of changes out in the Camp Scholler campground.
Yeah, well, last year we had a lot of campers drive in. I mean, it was a record number of campers last year, and we were expanding the campground throughout the week, and that led us to do a little bit better on the land use portion of it. So we added expanded camping toward the south end of Camp Scholler and paved a couple of roads there. So they'll be able to get in there, set up in the south end a little more easily, and also there'll be a shuttle bus running from that area that will go right down toward Theater in the Woods. So they, in the morning or whenever they want to get down to the flight line, they can hop the bus, go down that way, down Ripple Road and Knapp, and get right to Theater in the Woods and not have to go through the entire campground. On their way back, you'll have to get on the shuttle. Since it's a circular route, it will go through the campground and then drop you off in that area. So just be aware that that's a change this year, just to make things move a little more smoothly, because we're expecting another big influx of drive-in campers this year. As you know, Camp Scholler becomes its own aviation city full of airplane geeks there for an entire week. And it's really a fun place with people from around the world who are there camping and enjoying AirVenture.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a lot of good changes that you guys have made that should be very helpful. And it's really nice to hear that the feedback from the surveys has led to some different changes, like with the water bottles and the misting stations. I think that's going to be really great, especially being able to easily find them there on the maps now.
Yeah, and that's important too. We love hearing that feedback most of the time. Some of it is a little more direct than others, but we take all of it into consideration, look at the trends, see what people are looking for. We've got additional Wi-Fi hotspots on the grounds this year, so look for those.
Nice.
They're marked on the map as well. And so, we try to keep up with everything because, face it, 20 years ago, whoever heard of Wi-Fi? Well, now everybody's got it with phones and tablets and everything else. So we try to keep up on all those things. And so we appreciate the input, and we hope to see everybody out here having a great time at Oshkosh this summer.
Great. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to get there. I think it's going to be really fun. Dick, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me and go over some of these changes everyone can expect in 2024. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so for more videos like these and to follow along as we build our RV-10.